whom I revere above all earthly kings. And with that, he launched into the speech that ignited that parliament. They rejected the motion that was before them to treat with the king, and then a motion came forward to arm for war, which ultimately led to our freedom as people. So never doubt the impact that your words can have. Never doubt the impact that your words can have, given at the right time, like choice apples on a platter of silver, or the right words at the right time. And never doubt that there are times when good people see things by different lights. And I'm going to share some things today that will be news to some, a breath of fresh air to some. There is some perhaps in this room, or certainly that will be watching on television, who will be jarred by my words, as the people of the house were jarred by Patrick Henry's words. But I would consider it an act of disloyalty to the babies who are being butchered, and to God himself, if I did not speak what I see. Are you with me? Yes. All right. Now we've provided seat belts for you, so buckle up, because it's going to be a wild ride. All right. What is the overarching goal of the pro-life movement? If it was in catechetical form, it would be something like this. What is the chief end of the pro-life movement? Answer. The chief end is to make it a criminal act to kill a human being from conception till birth. That's it. The chief end of the pro-life movement, or the end goal, however you want to word it, the end goal of the pro-life movement is to restore the full protection of law to human beings from conception until birth. Now, when you have a statement like that, by definition, you are excluding other things. There are other things that might help toward that goal, but they are not the goal. All right? And this is a critical point, because there are many good people who say things that are not true. They will say, the goal of the pro-life movement is to love them both. Well, no, that can be a useful tool to save a baby's life, to help a woman in distress. It can help create the mentality and the culture of life, but it's not the goal. The goal is to make it a criminal act to kill a baby. That's the goal. So when you hear people say things like the goal of the pro-life movement is evangelism, the goal of the pro-life movement is to change hearts and minds, it's simply not true. There was a day in the United States of America when it was legal to own a slave. And the next day, after the Constitution was ratified, the next day it was illegal to own a slave. Right? Do you really think that between that day and the next day that hearts were changed? You think that the slave owners woke up and said, the law has changed and I felt a conversion come over me? My brother. No. The law changed. And that is the goal of this movement. And the reason that this is critical as we start is because if you don't have your eyes fixed on the goal, you may start wandering away from it. You may do things that actually mitigate against your end goal, or that don't help you get there, or that are spinning your wheels, or that are making you go in reverse. So having the goal set before us is critical. And it's instructive to us to use other critical revolutions, social and political and legal revolutions in America's history. It's important for us, maybe critical for us, to study them. In other words, what was the end goal of the suffragettes? For women to vote, right? What did they have? Total, unconditional victory. They didn't say we want incremental voting rights, start with 50-year-olds because they're wise, and then back it up to 30. If you were fighting against slavery, there were people in America who said, well, let's have a gradual emancipation. Let's talk about using the federal government's money, i.e. taxpayers' money, to slowly reimburse the slave owners for their loss and to slowly buy slaves out of freedom, or out of slavery into freedom. Let's send the slaves to Haiti.
Do you want to get America out of the hands of wicked and unjust men and women who are destroying the republic before our eyes, and put leadership back into the hands of righteous men and women so that we don't die as a nation? Well, you're talking about social revolution, and there are rules in social revolution. We can look at the victorious social revolutions of the past, such as the end of slavery, the end of child labor, women's voting rights, the end of segregation, and so much more, and learn from their victories. Look at their actions, their images, their rhetoric, their sacrifices, and their final fruit. We will send you this series that originally cost $129, 7 books for students, 1 teacher's guide, if you'll give a gift of any size and just pay for shipping and handling. Take advantage of it today.